Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Playing in Traffic. We do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. So tell all your friends that we talk about cars, boats, trucks, and anything you put gas in. Got my man Dave Hayes. What's up, Dave?
How's it going, buddy?
Good, good. Glad to have you back on, man. I
Glad to
always
be
enjoy
back.
you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Always a good time.
Yeah, yeah. So Dave is the king of hidden headlights and C10s, and he got some new stuff he's going to share with us. So Dave, tell us a little bit about your company. You haven't been on about 2 years, so let's refresh on what you do.
So I own a company called Hot Rod Innovations. Our website's hotrodinnovations.cool. And, we're a family-owned deal. Started in 2018 as it was still kind of a part-time thing. I was still working full-time. Went full-time beginning of 2020 when Summit came on board. We did a couple of SEMA shows, and somebody from Summit had seen some of our stuff and contacted me, and obviously that changes the ball game.
Wow.
Took about it. So that was in 2019 when that actually started with Summit, and took about a year. It was the end of 2019. Took about a year to get through just the paperwork, and then been with them since.
That seems like yesterday, because when you were at Summit, you came here to visit me and my wife.
Yeah, we went to dinner.
It was a couple years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
Man, the older we get, the faster it goes.
It sure does. Flies.
It flies. Yeah, that was, heck, man, that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
We went to that cool restaurant with all the race car stuff.
Yeah, Quaker Steak and Lube.
Yep. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super fun trip. And, unfortunately, right after that, like 2 weeks later, the world stopped, the COVID thing.
That was scary.
Super scary.
Yeah, I'm still getting affected from that.
Yeah.
I was doing the promotions for celebrities for automotive, and it hasn't came back. I mean, I had to move on.
Yeah, it's for us here, for me personally, I'd been at the job I was doing for 10 years and enjoyed it and liked the people I worked with and made a good enough living, and benefits and all the stuff, right? The stuff that becomes important when you're a grown up, Yeah. And it took my wife and I a lot to say, all right, we're going to do it. I'm going to leave and we're going to go do this thing full time. So, basically January 1 of 2020 we were on our own, wow. And 3 months later.
Yeah, shut down.
That was terrifying. Yeah. I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do? And, but thank God that the Summit thing the Summit thing had happened, and it actually turned out to be, I don't want to say a blessing, but when everything shut down and then they sent out those checks to people, man, the sales at Summit went through the roof. I can tell you for sure where a lot of people spent their money, right away.
Locked down.
Yeah. Nothing to do, right? Go out in the garage and build something.
So I wonder how much percentage went up on sales at Summit, because everybody was stuck at home and they mail ordered. Their sales had to go through the roof.
I would think so, because we had been on with them granted, it's not a good comparison, but we'd been on with them for maybe a month. I don't even know if it was a full month, where it had gone live on the website and whatnot. And then that happened, and sales were, tick, 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 and then, man, when that happened, I would say a month after that, they kind of shut everything down. It just exploded. Like it was order.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. So, which was, it's tough to say, man, I was so happy to see that, because it didn't work out very good for so many people.
A lot of people. Yeah.
A lot of people got sick, lost their lives, lost their businesses, so I don't want to sound like it was such a great thing. We got lucky. And for us, it felt like it sort of really kickstarted, like kind of boosted almost the start for us in that particular aspect, because there was so many people, I think, kind of looking for something to do, or stay busy, do something that makes you happy, because, at that, it's funny because I think we've already not forgotten about it, but man, that was kind of a rough period, and everybody was afraid and, or angry or whatever. And
it was a bad period.
It was definitely a bad period. So like I said, I don't want to get happy about how it went for us, because that's
right.
But
so how many items do you have at Summit?
Well, I mean, it's all broken down, like some of like the throttle kit stuff, because there's all the, they're all a little bit different, but it's sort of the same part group. And then there's different colors and whatever, but I think it's around 55 or 60 part numbers.
Oh, nice.
That we do with them. So, which is not necessarily, they technically are different products, but so we have like the throttle return spring thing, which was actually like the first thing we did. The slide away steering column deal that we do like for the hot rods. So when you open up the door, the whole column and everything moves out of the way. Those were the first two products. And then we started, I'm trying to think now. So then it was the first hideaway, which was the 69 to 72 C10.
Okay.
Just a grill insert for the 69 to 72 C10, 73 to 79 hideaway, 81 to 87 hideaway, 67, 68 C10 inserts. We do a billet dash cluster thing, that is factory shape or whatever, looks kind of factory. That's all billet and polished and stuff for the C10s. That accepts the Holley Pro Dash, like digital screen deal, like the big one, which is cool. And then now we have the Camaro 67, 68, and 60, then 69. 67, 68 is the same kit. And then a 69, that's just the factory parts, basically, so it's the stock door and all the stock stuff, obviously electric. And we use our electronics, which are it's basically the same electronics as the truck. The timing's a little bit different, but for all intent and purposes, it's the same. And the cool part with that is the wiring. I mean, it's a small box about the size of your cell phone, about an inch thick, and got a bunch of wires that come out of it. So there's a hot and a ground. That's the only two wires you have to land is a hot and a ground. And then there's a plug for each motor and a plug that goes on the back of the passenger side headlight. So you pull your headlight plug off, push our plug onto the headlight.
Oh, okay.
And then your factory plug plugs onto the back of our plug. It's done. It's wired. There's no wires that, our competition, I guess, or the company that is much more well-known than us, that does all kinds of amazing parts. They've been bought by Holley now, but they have an amazing part line of chassis stuff, and they do an electric conversion for the Camaros, and they make beautiful stuff. But if you actually go on YouTube and watch their install video, everything bolts up pretty much like ours. And then they get to the wiring, and you got to run all the wires behind the inner fender well. And then the guy gets it, it shows him he's got the driver's side door open. And he says, well, now we're going to remove the driver's seat because we're going to be spending some time under the dash to land all the wires. And that's kind of a pain. And I thought, well, I mean, we can do that without having to do all that. You know what I mean? We already do it with the truck stuff where there's no wires that go into the cab. It's, a plug, like I said, a plug to each motor and a plug that basically piggybacks onto the passenger side headlight, and you're done.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's been kind of a cool thing. We did the Grand National Roadster Show this year, and that was the first time they saw daylight. And I think in the first 30 minutes on Friday, we sold 7 hideaway kits.
Oh,
it was crazy. I mean, I didn't have that. I didn't have that volume with us. You know what I mean? We sold the couple that we brought because I did not think there would be that sort of a reaction to it. But yeah, that was, I mean, I was like trying to hide my smile. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to seem too excited. You got to sort of act like you've done this before. But I was like, holy cow. Yeah, exactly. You know, so that was pretty cool. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been a good deal so far. But man, I'll tell you, Summit has. I mean, everybody knows they're the kings, you know, and everybody likes to deal with Summit because they're cool to deal with. They're cool if you have an issue. They're cool if you need to return something. And I can say beyond any shadow of doubt, they, from a supplier side, they're just as cool to deal with. They are just really, because that's a huge company and we are not. So I was really nervous about just being swallowed up by them, you know, like I don't know if we can do this.
Yeah, so we do some promotions with them, and those guys are great.
They're amazing.
Yeah. I mean, what I found when we went on a tour, and what I found is they're still like a family-owned business, which they are, but they still treat it like that.
100%.
Everybody there has been working there for years.
Yep. Which speaks volumes, because you don't see that anymore in this world. And I don't know of any other company that has that sort of environment that is anywhere near the size of a place like Summit, where it still has that, this is a family run deal.
Yep.
You know, that was when I got to do the tour, when I came out and you and I had dinner and your wife. And so I had gotten to do the tour that day and, you know, meet all the people that I'd been dealing with, you know, on the phone or via email and stuff. Everybody was so nice. Like you said, they've all been there forever, which is pretty amazing.
So did you meet Nan before she retired? What's his name? Alan Robichaud took her spot, I believe. You deal with Alan?
No.
Okay, so maybe they're on the marketing side that I deal with, so it might be different.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I deal with a bunch of people, but those names don't ring a bell. But man, did you walk around through the offices up there?
Yep.
They have street names.
Yeah.
Like all the cubicles and stuff. It was like Camaro Lane or Firebird Road or like the place is so huge it needs street names.
You know what impressed me is those little carts that they ride on and pick the products from real high up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm watching them. I was like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they got all the you know, I'm sure like it's like Amazon, like all the roller track kind of like above where all the packages are like kind of rolling around through the warehouse.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. Yeah. I can't even imagine, you know, operating something like that.
And listen, so they're only 40, or, you know, they're 45 minutes from me.
Yep.
And I watched that place grow from when I was a kid. They started out in those little small garage, like a storage unit thing. And,
and that's the original one. That's yours is, that's the real deal.
Yep.
Yeah, that's flipping awesome. We have nothing like that in California anymore. Not even close. I mean, there used to be like speed shops around when I was a kid, but
they really messed it up out there, I tell you.
Dude, you are preaching to the choir. It's I mean, it's a beautiful place weather-wise, and my family's here, and you know, but it's
so what you got any your personal cars you're building?
We're still building my kids' C10.
Okay.
72 motors all together. We're starting to do all the tin work on the bed because it's a big back tire truck.
Oh, nice.
And then next up will be all the engine based stuff. You know, it'll be all hand done, you know.
Is he putting hands on it too?
Oh, dude, he can TIG weld. He can run the mill. He's in the shop with me every day after school. Today was actually his last day of school. So he'll be in the shop with me again all summer long. The body on his race car, which is all hand formed aluminum, he did the entire thing on his own.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
working on that, and I'm making parts. So he is very hands-on and absolutely loves it, which is great because he needs to take this over. I don't want to do this forever.
Right.
So, I mean, I enjoy it, but I definitely can see myself not doing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And, real quick, huh?
Yeah. It's amazing. I've been working since I was 14.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, people don't realize, when you own a business, how much brain power sucks, that gets sucked out of your everyday life.
It's emotional.
So, yeah.
Like really, it's emotional because like this is my baby, and we're not very big. I don't have a ton of employees. So you wear 58 different hats, and if I screw something up or didn't order something or whatever, I don't get to. Well, it was their fault, or it was upper management.
Right.
It's on me. So it's people. You're right. People don't realize. Making sure you have all the material and stupid things that you don't think about, like packaging.
Yeah.
Oh, we're out of boxes. You can't ship nothing out if you can't put it in the box. So, it's
little stuff like that. Yeah.
Little stuff like that. Yeah. So, but I wouldn't go back. I mean, I would if I had to, but I'm blessed that I'm able to do this. The shop is on my mom and dad's property here. So I see them every day, which is awesome. I'm really blessed. Doing? Oh, he's doing great.
Good. Did you ever get a chance to give him his car?
It's not done. He knows about it at this point.
Okay.
It's ready for paint, but I have no time and honestly no money at this point to do that. So he knows it's his. He actually bought himself a GTO that he's pretty tickled with.
Oh, good.
He had one in high school. He bought not the same car, but the same car, 65 GTO, like Ray's.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what Ray has.
Yes. So
that's what he's popping in now.
So he's having a good time with that. And he works out with me in the shop every day, and pretty cool. There he is.
With your ears Hot Rod Hayes.
What's happening?
How you guys doing? It's been a couple minutes since I saw you. It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you, buddy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
We were just talking about you, Ray. Your ears must have been burning.
Hey, I said, I got to get on this. I got to fire this computer up, man. My ears are killing me.
Yeah, we're talking about a 65 GTO.
I happen to have one of those.
So does my dad.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he had one in high school and sold it. He got drafted and had my grandpa sell it. And he's talked about that car since I was born. He's had all kinds of hot rods and stuff since then, and I find, for like 5 years, I kept telling him, why don't you just buy one?
Yeah.
Just buy one. And so he finally did. He found one. I want to say it was in Chicago, and it had been a frame off restoration deal. It's the right color. His is oh my gosh. It's that light green color, but palmetto green.
Okay, yeah. Nice color. Yes.
Palmetto green, black interior, center console, the wood grain. It's a real GTO. Okay. It was a 4-speed car. The guy put a Tremec 5-speed in it, which is actually pretty cool.
Right.
But yeah, it's got the right wheels on it. The torque thrust, like 5-spoke, which is exactly what his was.
Is it still a 389 car, or is it was the motor changed?
It's a 389 car.
Okay. It kind of sounds like mine. I mean, mine was I've had mine since I was in high school.
That's so cool.
Bought it when I was in high school in 75. And and I did switch to a Tremec 5-speed. I have a 400 in mine. But they're great cars. I'm glad he did that. Because a lot of guys say they misroll a car, they want it back, and they're just like, no, that was, and I can't find one now. They're too much money. Yes, all the above. It's all true. But
right,
you owe it to yourself. At whatever stage of life you're in, I mean, unless you're a total fuck up or a bad guy, which I'm sure your dad isn't, you owe it to yourself. Why not be happy? Why not enjoy something that you enjoyed in the past?
You sound exactly like the speech I gave him for years. And my dad owned his own business and did very well for himself. So the financial part of it wasn't the holdup. And, you know, he looked around a little bit and he kind of, my dad is the most generous, giving, helping person on the planet, except for when it comes to himself.
Yep. That's the way it always is.
Yes. He'll do anything for anybody. He'll give anybody anything. You need money, no problem. Here you go. Don't even worry about it.
Right.
But for him to go like spend some money on him, it's like he feels guilty or, you know, like, you know, he's like, you know, I'm good. I'm happy.
You know, any of us who have families and responsibilities, we know, you know, we give of ourselves to our families. That's kind of our job. We feel it's our responsibility.
100%.
And, you know, I mean, we all do that. And, you know, someone told me when I was retiring, they said, listen, it was a financial guy. He said, you've been saving, you got a good retirement plan, you're going to do well. And he said, now's the time to spend. And my wife is still in the mind of, all right, we took money out of the savings to do this. We got to put that back. I'm like, no, it doesn't go back. We saved it for now so we could use it. It doesn't go back. There is no going back. It's like, no, we want to like skid in like on zero, you know? It's like,
right.
But, you know. So let's see. I think I could give you a little glimpse here of, there's my car.
Yep. Oh, man, that is like the greatest looking front end of all time.
You know, in the GTO world, there are guys, this seems to be kind of, I think it kind of does seem to end up being one of the, most of the people I talk to, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe they're just saying it because they're looking at one, they say, that's my favorite year. I kind of like it. The 64 is totally different. The 6 and 7 are very similar. The cars got bigger.
Yep.
You know, it is what it is. I don't care what year you like. As long as you like something, just like it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That is undoubtedly my favorite year. Probably because I've had to hear about it for 50 years, you know, 65 GTO. Yeah. So, but yeah, that is for me, that's the one.
And I'll tell you, I read a lot of old magazines. I do still read a lot of them from the 60s, 70s. And back then, I mean, the Mustangs were the king, man. I didn't realize just how popular those cars were, even just a couple of years out. The customizing stuff was rampant, but the GTOs were the other ones, man. They were like, everybody was like, you know, trying to knock that goat off the shelf.
Well, the GTO was the first like real muscle car, and the Mustang was the first real pony car.
Yeah, I mean, there's argument. I mean, you'll get enough guys to argue with you all day long. I mean, the argument comes back to, you know, olds in the 50s with the dual 4-barrel and tri-power motors. You know, Caddy even had a dual quad engine, even though they weren't considered the word muscle car didn't exist. Actually, those cars in the 70s were called supercars, not muscle cars. Huh. Muscle car didn't come out. That term didn't come out until the 80s. You know, but yeah, they were called supercars. That was kind of what people called them. But yeah, you know, so it depends what age guy you're talking to argument's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all good. They were all hot. You know, it's kind of funny because my daughter was just telling me she went and got her nails done the other day. She goes, yeah, Dad, I had to go down a couple streets and turn around, and I got to this dead end, and I saw a car. I thought it was your car. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, I saw this gold car. It was kind of square. I'm like, really? I was like, so today I was out with her, and I said, show me where that car is. We drove down this block, and I spotted. I said, yep, it's like a '69 Roadrunner. That is like an original gold. She goes, yeah, it's not as nice as yours. I said, well, this car wasn't repainted. This car needs a restoration. Mine has been done.
Right.
I said, that's pretty good. You spotted the square nose and the gold color. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I said, so, yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Neat stuff.
Yeah, since my kid was little, anytime we'd be driving anywhere and see any old car, it's always I'm trying to teach him all the, all right, what is that? What is that? And the only one he had a hard time with for a long time was 67 or 68 Camaro. Because he'd always, well, it's got the round wheel wells. Yeah, but what's the 67 have? The only one with a wing window.
Yes, exactly.
And he's 15 now, so he's got it. I mean, this is when he was young, but
it was funny. I remember I have a niece who was my kind of car girl niece when she was growing up. I took her to all the car shows and all, and I remember teaching her the Tri-5 Chevys. And to this day, she something went wrong with her car, and she said something to her daughter, and the daughter said, "Mom, how do you know that?" She goes, "Well, I used to hang around with your Uncle Ray, and he used to teach me all the stuff about cars." But she was so proud that she learned the Tri-5 Chevys. I'm like, yeah, once you know it, it's easy. You can never confuse one for the other.
Correct.
That's good stuff. That's all good stuff.
Well, I'm glad I can't believe you've had that. I did not realize you've had that car since high school.
Bought it in 75. Yeah. Paid $75 for it too.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
No, listen, Dave, we used to get cars, free. Yeah, because my first couple cars were free. And like, if you can get it running, you can have it. Okay. And then in the Goat, I paid $75 for it. It wasn't running. And I wrote a story about it. It's actually a pretty interesting story. The guy had a 67 and a 65. And my boss, I was working at an auto parts store. And the two guys were big Pontiac guys. I was driving a 65 Caddy Coupe de Ville at the time. And he says, "Listen, you know what? I think it's about time. If you're going to work for us, you got to have a Pontiac." I was like, "Okay. So what do you propose?" He goes, "We got to get you a GTO or a Firebird or something." Like, okay. So he found a 67 for sale, black car, white vinyl, white interior, 400 her shifter, AC. And I think it was going for like, I don't know, he was getting the car for like, I don't know, $300, something like that. This is like in 1980. It was 1970, 75. Yeah. And he says, the guy's got a 65 GTO too. He goes, "I'm going to get him down on the price." So he wanted like $125 for it. I'm like, okay. Which at the time wasn't unusual. You could get $100 car.
You're breaking my heart.
Oh, no, I know. Well, listen, but this was the way it was, Dave. We talk about this on the show. You knew when you bought a cheap car back then, you had to bring a battery and probably a spare tire because it had a flat. Everybody took the battery out of their cars back then. Like, it was the most expensive part of the car. So, and we didn't bring a battery. So we get all the way out on the island here where I live, and there's a 65. So he's making the deal on a 67. I'm looking at the 65, and okay, it's all there. I think I opened the trunk. I leaned on the car, and it kind of bounced. I was like, what? I look underneath. There's no shocks. So I'm saying to the guy, "Hey, where's the rear shocks?" "Oh, I just put brand new air shocks in the car. I had to take them out for my other car." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." And of course, I needed the battery too. Yeah, of course you did. So I had to flat tow this car home with a 68 Grand Prix with a chain, with no battery, and it was dead of winter, so it was freezing freaking cold, and the car was bouncing like boing, the boing, the boing, all the way home, and it was quite an ordeal. But that's how you bought cars back then. They were just cheap as shit, and we should have known to bring a battery, but we didn't. And of course, he wasn't giving us one. So
I mean, it's funny to think free. Like, so when I was in high school, I'm a little bit younger. I was born in 75. Okay. And so high school was, like 1990, right? Is like when I graduated in 94. So whatever.
Okay.
Myself and all my friends, we all had what would be considered muscle cars now. Camaros, Chevelle, El Camino, Mustang, Nova. But it was because they were cheap. And we could work on them ourselves. You know what I mean? And, we're all at the stage now. Quite a few of my friends have bought back and are going through and building up, a new car like what they had, right? Which is a real blessing to be able to do that in today's world. But it's just crazy that we sound like the old guys that we can still remember when we were younger that would approach us. "Oh man, I used to have a blah, blah, blah. I should have never have sold it." Everyone's heard that story, and now it's us.
Every generation. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just funny how life changes.
I was at 2 club meetings this week, one with the Corvette Society guys, and last night with the Oldsmobile Club. And everybody in the room, I was with a buddy of mine. I said, "Look, everybody in here, they're all old guys. They're all like us." And, the conversations always stream the same way. I was actually talking to one guy he was talking about how now he's getting back into bicycle riding for health reasons. I said, dude, take it easy. Don't think you're 17 anymore. You're not. Your legs are gonna fail. And I said, but remember, like when we were kids, I remember vividly at any age back then, getting on the bicycle in the morning and just leaving, and back then, I'm talking, this was in the 60s and early 70s, no cell phones, no nothing. You went out for the day. Your parents didn't know where the hell you were. The rule was be back for dinner. You better be back before it's dark.
So for me, that was in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And it was the same way.
Right. Yes.
I don't know what my mom thought we were doing. If we were riding around the block 400 times, we were 2 towns over, trying to get into some abandoned building just to see what was in there, She'd have tanned our asses if she knew what we were really doing.
As a kid, we used to go down to a park that was like 5 miles from my house. And I think we went back and forth a few times, but we were out all day. I said, and then I was just telling this to my daughter's boyfriend. We were just having some dinner. And I said, then you'd get home and you'd go in, you'd eat dinner, but you always had one ear open because the first kid that came out after dinner, and it was like, I gotta go. Because then it was like stickball, stoop ball, ring alevio, catching lightning bugs, all the nighttime games that we would play, and we were out all night. And then it was like, okay, get in, go to bed, wake up, repeat cycle, and we did that every freaking day. And we're talking about how
it was awesome.
And we're talking about how, like, my younger daughter and her boyfriend were born in the 90s. So they were saying how they feel they're the last generation that really had a normal childhood, and like cell phones didn't come in for them until middle school, high school era. And they feel happy that they feel like they're kind of in the middle. I said, listen, embrace it. I said, you really did. You were the last of the lucky kids, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the social media stuff, and obviously I'm on it. I have a page for the business, and then I have a personal page, whatever. And half the time I don't switch them over. I just forget, whatever. But all, and I like, what do they call it? Doom scrolling, right? We all do it. Right, and it was supposed to bring us all together. I remember, you're going to stay so, but it's had the exact opposite effect on society. I mean, people are such jerks at this point because we've gotten comfortable saying stuff to other people, knowing you're not going to get punched in the nose.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, same thing, right? There was none of the social media stuff. It was, I tell my kid all the time, and he laughs. I said, man, when I was a kid, I was raised on hose water and neglect.
Hose water, yes.
Yes.
Drinking out of the hose. Yes.
Yeah. It was awesome.
I can taste it right now.
Oh, me too. Me too. And we were happy to have that because we were gonna die of dehydration.
In fact, I'll tell you something. I think it was the Etsy or the Temu of the 70s. It was Finger Hunt. It was a little catalog that came out. My mother used to get it, and she got so tired of us coming in the house for water all the time. She bought it's like a little water fountain that she put on the hose spigot outside. She goes, there's your water fountain. That's where you get your water from now. I'm like, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So awesome. And same thing, right? I mean, there was I'm trying to remember back. I know there were like cell phones when I was in high school, but nobody had one, or they were like still kind of in like the suitcase looking thing, I mean, like I mean, I can remember I remember wanting a beeper.
Yeah.
And my mom wouldn't let me because only doctors and drug dealers had beepers, and I'm not a doctor.
I'll tell you, in the 90s, I did have flip phones.
There you go.
Yep, there we go. This was the 90s.
Both of you guys are killing it.
Oh, we're prepared, Dave. We're prepared.
Yeah, man, we don't play. Look.
Oh, man.
We're loaded. So I tell you, Dave, the thing that I always tell people is, okay, we had this great conversation. We reminisced. It's really cool. Now you got to do something about it, like you do. Talk to your kid. Like I said, I'm just outside with my daughter and her boyfriend, and I pull up a picture on my phone from way back when. And her boyfriend says, oh, my God, that is so cool. I'm like, why? He goes, no, because now on our phones, we make pictures look like that. That was a real picture. I was like, yeah, with a real camera. Can you imagine? He goes, we have apps that make it look like that. I'm like, well, listen, dude, that was my life. and it wasn't
right
all the time. It didn't always look nice.
I mean, it's funny. My wife and I talk all the time about being thankful that, no cell phones, no social media, because there's no proof of all the dumb stuff we did.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I have a meme like that says, back in my day, there were no cell phones, no cameras everywhere. And it's so true. I mean, you get away with anything. We really, good thing we weren't really crooks, or else we would have been. But that's when, that's when the mob was huge. I mean, Louis, in your area and in my area too, that's when the mob was rampant. I mean, they could do whatever the hell they want. You put a guy out front, he was just watching, like, get out of here, walk down the street, go on. This isn't nothing to see here. Keep moving. While the guy's getting pounded with a fucking stick and a bat and a fucking pipe.
Right, but there was no proof. It was just hearsay.
Keep walking. You didn't see nothing. Nope. See nothing, man.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I don't want to be on the other end of that stick.
Right,
well, I always told my kids too. I said, first of all, I didn't think I'd ever make it to the age you're at now. I didn't think I would live that long, and probably because some of the stupid shit I did, and some of the stuff I should have got like killed for, and just stuff I would have done that would have killed myself. But I said, by the grace of God, here I am.
Yeah,
there was a purpose.
Terrifies me with my son, because I know all the crap we were doing.
Yes,
and.
Well, they're not as smart as us, so they might not get to that level of stupidness.
He is so much more, and I don't want to sound naive, but I mean, he's with me all the damn time. So, outside of school, but him and his friends, they are definitely more, I don't want to say innocent. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're not as sneaky, I don't think, as we were. Like,
genius.
Yeah, not as, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. And maybe every parent thinks that, but I feel like I'm, at least with him, because I mean, we spent a lot of time together, him and I, a lot.
Yeah, that's good. That's the key, Dave. And a lot of parents, a lot of my friends do not spend time with their kids. It's like, once they get the electronic nanny, the phone, the tablet, whatever, it's like, hey, you go over there and leave me alone. And that's bad. That's not the way it should be. So.
Correct. Well, I mean, he's always hung out with me, and we've done all the car stuff together. He goes to all the shows, and now last year was year one. He started racing, so
right.
That's a lot of time in the shop together.
Yeah. No, that's great, and that's it's good because he'll learn. He spends the quality time with you. And I'm sure, like, he's around your friends as well. He gets to see. I know my kids too. They kind of they get a kick out of that, because when there's like 2 or 3 of us or more in one place, it's like, wow, there's this herd of old guys. The story, and they know, like, the stories are going to be good, especially if they start drinking. It's like, all right, and it's like better than watching a movie.
100%. And like my kid, or I should say, as far as my kid is concerned, all the guys that I hang out with today, they're all the guys I grew up with. They're all the guys when I was racing that were around. Those are all his uncles. That's Uncle Clint, Uncle Mike, Uncle Steve, Uncle Jason.
Right.
Not necessarily always the best influences, for sure.
No.
But they will be there for him no matter what.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
They're very protective of my kid, and we're all protective of all of our kids, which is pretty cool.
I was just telling stories. Go on, Lewis.
I was going to say, I'm bringing the fellas in. I know a couple of guys wanted to ask you some questions.
I was just telling a story the other day to someone about how I work on a lot of my friends' kids' cars. And this one case, a friend asked me to work on his son couldn't get a wheel off. He had to change the wheel. Couldn't get one of the lugs off, so he came to the house. And I figured, okay, piece of cake. No, none of my sockets worked. We'll go into like the turbo sockets. Next thing you know, it's the air chisel, the torch. So when we were in about 2 hours in, the kid, and I knew him, he says to me, Ray, let me ask you a question. He says, what's with you guys? I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? He says, I know my dad called you and said I was having trouble. Next thing I know, he's telling me to come down here to your house, and here I am. I said, now here you are. You told your wife, hold dinner because you're busy. We're out here for a lot longer than you thought it was going to be, and you don't even look pissed off. He goes, what is it with you guys? All my dad was just asked you, I said, well, that's what it is. I said, I said, I know that if I called your dad at 2 or 3 a.m. and said I was stuck or I needed bail or something, he'd be there.
Yep.
I said, when he calls me and says, can you help my son? Hell yeah, I'm going to help you. I said, it's only if you turn out to be a total asshole that this is going to change. I said, but if you're appreciative of it, dude, it's paying it forward. I said, and he says, none of my friends, and I've heard this a few times, none of the guys I grew up with would ever do that. Everybody, if I called 5 of them, they'd have 100 different excuses why they couldn't come and help me.
Yeah, it's a different world.
I said, that's sad. I said, that's not how we grew up. I said, we grew up helping each other because we had to. We had to.
Right.
So I'll get off my soapbox. Let somebody else talk. Papa Squirrel knows what I'm talking about.
How is everyone tonight?
Oh, good. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing well.
Doing good.
Papa Squirrel?
I'm around, I think.
Still alive, right? And that's what counts.
Well, that's good.
So what's your next event, Dave, where you're going to be showing your products?
I want to say it's in July. I'd have to look at the calendar. Avila Beach or something, south of us a few hours, and it's a big C10 event. We've never done it. I've wanted to go just because the venue looks amazing. It's like right on the coast, which is also going to be a lot cooler. Like we live, inland here, and it gets hot as heck during the summer. So anytime you can get out near the coast, for me, I'm a happy guy. Tomorrow night we're racing tomorrow night and Saturday night with my son, and tomorrow night is a couple hours south of here, and it's Watsonville Speedway, which is Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds. And I think most people that don't live in California think it's like you go to the beach, it's hot or whatever. It's really not. Certainly not during the summer. Actually, during the summer, when everybody would assume it was the hottest or the nicest weather, as soon as the sun goes down, the fog rolls in, which is, man, it's like 30 degrees cooler there than here, which is awesome. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night. The best time to go to like Santa Cruz and here is fall, September, October, November. That's the best weather. That's when perfectly blue skies and warm, and it seems counterintuitive, but so yeah, tomorrow night we'll be in Watsonville, which is cool. Saturday night, Antioch Speedway, which is close to home. So
you got the West Coast vibe, which is cool, except for certain things I won't go into at this point on the show.
Yeah.
Speaking, but I'm on the East Coast, right? I'm on the Atlantic Ocean, and I was just explaining to them. I said, where we are, we have the ocean breeze. I'm only a couple miles off the ocean, so it's like now inland it'd be hot, but right now it's cooler because you get that ocean breeze. If you go to the north side of Long Island, which is only, what are we like? I don't know, 20 miles across. But it's colder up there. It's a whole different weather front up there.
Yeah.
So, it's weird how that is in.
I got to pipe in here and tell you my experience in Santa Cruz. I thought I was going to die of hypothermia. Those knows that I can get cold rather easy, but it was middle of August.
Yep.
And I was in Monterey for Monterey historic races.
Mm-hmm.
And I came down to screw off in Santa Cruz because the guy wanted to show me Freak Street. So we go down to where it looks like Halloween every night of the week.
Oh yeah.
And I'm walking around and I'm shivering. I'm fucking shivering. And my cousin looks at me and he goes, "You know how we tell the tourists around here?" And I said, "No, how?" The guy that doesn't fit in because he's shivering.
He's shivering, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's funny because, I think, I don't know, I guess movies or TV, whatever it is, right? Everybody that doesn't live here has that summertime in Santa Cruz. It's, the beach boardwalk and everybody's walking around in bikinis and, shorts and no.
It was like 62 degrees, 58 degrees in
Oh, yeah.
Fullerton. It hurt.
Oh yeah, it gets very, very cold there. Like I said, the fall, October, September, October, November, that's when it's mid upper 70s. It's gorgeous, but yeah, and I don't know why it's weird. My wife grew up there. She grew up in Watsonville, which is part of Santa Cruz County, and yeah, she said that's people don't realize it gets flipping cold. But like I said, during the middle of summer when we're racing, and we race places that are 90, 100 degrees, it doesn't bother me as much anymore because I'm not in the fire suit. It's my kid, he's the one sweating his butt off. It's nice to be over by the coast, and it's okay to have to put a sweatshirt on,
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
Right.
But yeah, a week from now, I'll be at the beach, but in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
What happened?
We're going to take a vacation. My in-laws are actually taking us, which is amazing. They've taken us on multiple trips, and so I'm pretty blessed. But I cannot wait to have a week of no car parts, no racing, just Mai Tais and sunsets.
Let your hair down. Yep.
Yes, can't wait. So, yeah, very cool.
Nice. Now, what kind of race car is your son racing?
It's called a dwarf car. It's like a Legends car. I think more people are familiar with a Legends car.
Mm-hmm.
They're 5/8 scale, full tube chassis. I built the chassis. I used to, before Hot Rod Innovations, I raced these cars and then manufactured my own chassis. So they're a full tube chassis car, aluminum skinned. They look like little hot rods. So like a little sedan. His is a 32 coupe. They're 73-inch wheelbase. They're 1,000 cc inline 4 street bike motors that make about 200 horse. Car weighs 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Good power to weight.
The motors in the car sit cylinders front to back. In the bike, they're left to right, essentially, right? The engines are turned 90 degrees, and then where the sprocket would be on the output shaft of the motor, that comes off, and there's this little kind of rectangular billet aluminum adapter that goes on because we have a drive shaft. So the drive shaft runs down the right side of the car through a tunnel, and they're offset rear ends, and it's a miniature. It's a Winters quick change rear end that's in the car.
Cool.
They're extremely fast, very fast car. So,
Ray, one of the lessons I learned first time I went to California, because I was out there at the first PRI West show, is they're like, you learn to dress in layers.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Because it might be 50 degrees in the morning, be 100 degrees at night, sun goes down, it's 50 degrees again. So you're pulling it on, taking it off. And like I said, that's just, and like I said, the water out there, cold.
Oh yeah, cold
on the East Coast.
Yeah, I don't go in the water here. Not only is it freezing cold, it's all murky and there's all kinds of seaweed, and man, if something touches my leg and I'm in the ocean,
we get seaweed here.
I'm out.
As a kid, used to be in the ocean until I was blue. And your parents would drag you. No, I want to go back in. You're blue. Get out.
Yeah. No, I'm all good on freezing ass water, and you can't see nothing. And I know there's big sharks out here, and
you too now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Now, as far as the kids, I was thinking the word maybe seasoned or worldly, because as latchkey kids or Gen X kids, we were be back when the sunlight comes, be back when the street lights are on for dinner.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep, it's definitely changed. My kid was definitely an outside kid. Well, I don't know, not so much anymore. He's on the computer when we're at home. He's on the computer quite a bit, but it's not for him. It's iRacing. He does a lot of. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a simulator program that all the NASCAR guys, all the IndyCar guys, all the whatever kind of racing, sprint car guys. He's raced with Tony Stewart now. And you have to sort of earn your way into being able to run some of the. You can practice anything you want on this thing, but it's a pretty. He's got the little. It's a little frame deal with a seat and the wheel and the pedals. So you sit in it. And the monitor, and it's fairly realistic. It's not a video game. I mean, it's very much you got to buy a subscription to this thing, but it's what all the professional drivers of whatever different genre, it's what they practice on all week long. And he's pretty involved with that. Like in the evenings when his homework's done and, we're at home, I call it his lab. He's in the lab practicing. So
I've seen, we've seen some of the setups where they're like, almost like a 3D or not 3D, a full motion.
Yep.
Where you get in it and it's got the hydraulics and the actuators and it moves and shakes and rumbles and all that. And I was like,
yeah, it's incredible. I looked at those. I was like, oh man, I want that. Yeah, they're about $45,000. Yeah, for if you want the full tilt, all the goodies, which. If I hit the lottery, I assure you that's going to be a purchase. But that's pretty crazy. But I mean that's what that's what the pro guys are using. I mean they got a thing now where you put on the harnesses, and when you hit the brakes on the simulator, it snugs up your harness to give you the feeling of going forward in the belts.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it's. Some of the stuff now with all the and it just keeps getting better and better and better with all this technology. At least for me, that's a good use of the technology instead of a bad one.
Oh, yeah,
right.
It's a whole lot cheaper to crash on that than it is when he bends up the car in real life. So
sure,
yeah, don't get hurt.
No, yeah, he can have at that all day long. I'm good with that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's like it falls back to a conversation I heard today, which I knew of. They talk about a cell phone in your hand, in your pocket, has got more computing power than they sent men to the moon.
Yep.
That's true for
and
years
it's like,
already.
yeah, your phone now, it's just like.
Hold on. When did we go to the moon?
You weren't there, Paul.
Yes, I was. I was born in '67, so I remember some moon missions from the early '70s, and there was something on TV in '68 or whatever.
Yeah, a little thing like a moon landing. There was something on TV.
Yeah.
It's funny, just that little clip of a conversation. It's always interesting how people remember history in their own spectrum, through their own set of eyes. And when you talk to people from different generations, you see how different one historic event is viewed. It's pretty interesting. I find it very interesting, in fact.
Well, I mean, back then, if the president was on or something like, the space stuff, you're going to miss Flipper because it's going to be on all three channels, and that's a major ordeal.
Exactly.
Flipper's on, and we're going to miss it.
Right.
That's exactly right. All of them. Speaking of historic events, I mean, there's just so many of them. But you're right. It depends on your age range and what you remember, because there's so many people that don't remember the space shuttle ride, Sally Ride.
Yeah.
And that one blew.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I remember it. We watched that live in my, I don't know what year was that, fifth grade class, I think. We watched it live, and it was a big deal, right? Because that one teacher was on the shuttle, right? And the thing blew up, and I don't know that any of us really knew how to process that, so they just rolled the TV back out of the classroom, and we went back to doing school. I mean,
every time I see a rocket get launched, that's what I see. 10 seconds in, that's all I can see is that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, and
Bezos just lost one the other day when they were doing a test fire. They had one blow up, and they And then, Elon comes out there and he goes, rockets are what was it? He said, like, rockets are crazy. That's a whole different world, that rocket propulsion, and the fuels are so damn volatile. Doing that stuff. And a lot of that's what,
come on, it's hydrogen, liquid hydrogen, most explosive shit you can think of.
I mean, this is all histrionics, but the thing that's really hitting home now is veterans, and like nobody, remembers World War One. Those veterans are all gone. The families are gone. World War II is now slipping into history. People don't even know there was. They'll do those interviews on the street sometimes with people, and they don't like what we had. There was a World War II, and and Vietnam is 50 years old already. And that's what hurts when you see that history slip away. And if it isn't for veterans groups, VFWs, and smaller other organizations, people don't know what it's all about. They really don't. I think as a society, because of technology, we're so keyed into and by the moment, with the cell phone, everything is by the moment. It's like, no, that was yesterday's news. That was the last minute's news. And that's why, Paul's keeping the old Model A's alive. We need that. As long as we're around, we're living and breathing, we'll be keeping the old stuff alive. But we're going to go too. And what's going to happen next? It's just going to pass into obscurity.
I used the term pre-war multiple times last week and through last weekend, and it was amazing to see a lot of pre-war cars, modified and original, all there. But I was blown away with how many people didn't understand the term I was using.
Right.
Right.
Pre-war being 1948 or earlier, even though the war ended in 45, because the cars really didn't change until 49. Right. So it's pre-48 is pre-war under the original guidelines of National Street Rod Association. But the historical factor, it's going away, and it's just because, like you said, it's in the moment now. It's through the cell phone. It's now, and you can calculate out all these things, but they forget the basics, and it's not going to be long before nobody can set a set of points.
Please. Just went through that this week too. We had a Cars and Coffee, and there I am adjusting points, and I busted out my dwell meter, and the guy's like, "Wow, what's that?" I'm like, "It's attack and dwell. You need that to adjust the point." So please, that's a whole other story. But
won't do that one.
Yeah. But like with the history, I mean, it's just like, listen, when I was in high school, they were teaching me about the Revolutionary War. I could care less about the Revolutionary. What the fuck? That was ancient history, a long time. Right. And someone came up with a meme for guys around my age that said, "Boy, when we were in, our heyday in the '70s, it was like the 1920s was as far away from us then as now the 70s are from us now." I'm like, oh, man, wow, that's heavy.
Well, and as a society, we place, I think, considerably different values on things. And this isn't a rant, or I'm not anti anything, so I don't want it to be taken that way. But we have Pride Month, and we have Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
Just said that to my wife the other day. I said, Dave, I just said that the other day. I said, yeah, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. Oh, we have Pride Month, and we have everything is a month now.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute.
And I don't want that construed as I have any issue with it, because I don't care who you love. That's none of my business. And if you're happy, man, grabbing a piece of happiness in this world is a difficult thing, it seems, anymore. So if you're good, I couldn't be happier for you.
Right.
The fact that gets a month, and a guy that got blown away for this country got a Monday.
So
I feel like the in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, the priority is off just a skosh.
I agree, and I couldn't agree more, because it's exactly what I said. But I don't think, I mean, On the other hand, do we need Veterans Month? Oh, it'll be nice, but no, Veterans Day is fine. It's fine. I think it's fine to have a day to commemorate something. That's okay. Because in a month, things get dragged out and it gets watered down. Now it's like,
yeah.
Like I know people who celebrate their birthday month. It's like, come on, really? Can we just go out, you have a birthday, celebrate, boop, have candles, we're done. So I don't think anything needs to be blown up that much. But
right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Literally, just the other day I said that, and it's like, man, what has the world come to? If the veterans were alive that fought and died for this country, to see that, boy, there'd be some hell to pay.
Really I think so.
Get some old World War II guys in. That was tough stuff.
I mean, you look back at these kids, like you go back to World War II, right? These 18-year-old kids that went overseas, and like the maturity level of people in that generation versus an 18-year-old kid today, we've definitely taken a wrong turn.
Yes, and it's some 17 guys were lying and
I know
to get in, so that was very popular too. That was very common back then.
Yeah,
the patriotism level was absolutely off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, and it spawned the greatest generation in this country.
Yep.
Afterwards, everything was, we were on top of the world. We were the king. Couldn't be beat.
Yeah.
We were it. But now to see the protests, and I'm not looking to make an issue out of it, but to see the protests and see what's going on in Newark, New Jersey, lately, and in California certainly, and even here in New York, it's like, damn, it's mind-boggling. And you don't even have people who are there because they believe in it. They're being paid. They're paid protesters. They're paid anarchists. And there's groups that are, that are paying them to and they go all over the country. Wherever there's events, that's where they go.
Well, and so here's my feeling on it is part of what makes this country amazing is we can protest. But what you see on the TV, right? Like what's going on, like you said, in Newark and what we live with daily, it feels like in California. Mm-hmm. That's not protesting.
No.
Blocking the freeway, that's not a protest. I don't think a single person has ever been pulled onto your side and went, you know what, these guys are right. When you're sitting in traffic and can't get to work, or the ambulance can't get to the hospital, or you're throwing stuff at police officers or whoever, right, they're just doing their job. Standing off to the side and having a sign or, yelling whatever you want to yell, for me, all right, you're protesting. You got that right. I'm good with that, even if I disagree. That's your right in this country, and it's one of the things that makes this place great.
First
but
Amendment.
The second you start, and it's violent, or we're property damage, we're trying to injure other people, that's anarchy, and that should be dealt with swiftly.
It's so many levels. Like the people who complain, they want to pass laws that ICE cannot wear masks. They can't. How could they? They shouldn't be able to hide their face. Meanwhile, the protesters are masked and baklavaed up and they'll hide their faces. So it's a total.
You're just on the wrong side, Bray.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take that side, Papa Squirrel, proudly, and I'll be. I'm happy to be on the wrong side. If that's what it's going to come down to.
Don't feel bad. I am too. I mean,
I know you are. We all are, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. But
Ray, it's like a paid kabuki theater because they're being paid to show up, make an ass out of themselves, and they show up, they bus them in. They hand them the signs, they hand them the stuff, and go, okay, go make an ass out of yourself. Make sure that if a cop swings at you, somebody gets a picture of it, or you get maced or pepper sprayed. Make sure somebody gets a picture of the cop doing that, because you've had a megaphone in his face screaming for 10 minutes, and he finally's like, okay, back up, get out of my face. Oh, you attacked him. No, he was trying to get, idiot out of his, I can't remember the name, IOOT or something, right in his face with a microphone. I don't.
It would be okay and it'd be funny if that's really what all it was. But But like you said, the terroristic nature that comes with it, and the fires, and the looting, and the window breaking. I mean, in Manhattan, buildings were just boarding up their stores just to save the windows, and the products, because it was so destructive. I know in California too.
That's not protesting. That's like you said. That's anarchy. That's
protesting. It's your right to protest. It's in the First Amendment, and we all have it. Peaceful protest, I do believe it says.
Yeah.
That's not peaceful protest.
Yep, for sure. Hey, let's get back on the car.
Okay. Thank you, Louis. Someone's got to be a moderator here. It's probably going to be me tonight.
Hold on. So Keith, I'll get you in a few minutes. For some reason, my system ain't working, and it's only let me put 6 people in.
Oh, really?
Louis, bump me out because I'm driving to the house, so I'll be back on the desktop instead of my phone. So just bump me out and pull Keith in, and then, like I said, I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good.
On a desktop instead of my cell phone. So I'll see you guys in a few.
All right, later.
All right, and then I'll bump out after I get to.
What's up, everybody?
Hey,
Hey. Go ahead, Paul.
Sorry. Paul, we need to get some information from the Tulsa. Give us the update.
Yeah. So, the latest update I understand is every registered participant will receive a refund.
Okay.
Derek, I understand, and I can't speak for him or any way, shape, or form, so I am not. But the last information I have is he will be announcing something tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Yeah. I reached out to him. I only have his email, so I didn't have his so I'm waiting to see if he gets back.
It's I've had several days to really think this through. I in no way, shape, or form can put fault to any one person. I can say that there was multiple failures, but there was way more success. Mm-hmm. And it was an epic event. It was, multiple years or whatever in the planning. It takes a lot. So when you have projected numbers of 3,000 participants and all of a sudden there's over 5,
wow,
you expect 30 to 50,000 spectators and all of a sudden there's 100,000 spectators. You're overwhelmed.
Right.
I get it.
So explain what happened for people that didn't hear about it.
Well, last weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma, special car enthusiasts from every culture and subculture of automotive there came together for the birthday party of Route 66 in Tulsa, the 100-year anniversary, and to try to break a Guinness Book of World Record for the longest classic car parade.
Mm-hmm.
The record was broken. But there was a lot of chaos that went along with that. And starting early in the morning, there was gridlock traffic jam. And from my observation, I'm not going to point fingers or say blame or Monday morning quarterback it, but my experience and several thousand other people was we got stuck in gridlock traffic. Traffic wouldn't move. Now all of a sudden you got upwards of 5,000 cars and they're all 30 years old or older. So now we have overheating issues.
Yep.
Running out of gas, all kinds of problems.
Okay, we're running out of gas, but let's focus on the overheating issue first.
Yeah.
If we just said 1%, which I think is a very fair number to use, that's 50 cars.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go with another 1% have run out of gas and have a flat tire. There's another 50 cars. So now we got 100 cars that are blocking up everything that's already blocking things up. Now let's take one other thing into consideration, that the cars that are 30 years old and older, and it was fantastic to see pre-war cars out being used. Um, their owners are older, and it's a family event. So everyone gets up in the morning and drinks a lot of coffee to prepare for this. And now you're stuck in gridlock traffic.
Oh, I know that one.
You're painting a picture, Paul.
Yeah.
So this, wasn't just my experience. This was multiple people's experience. I'm glad to hear that the record was broken. I am honored to have been a participant and go through it with everybody. But looking back on it, 3.5 hours of sitting in gridlock traffic for a 15-minute cruise down Route 66 through the middle of Tulsa. And they ran you through there pretty quick once you were through the gates at the convention center. But now somebody dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And to those that got locked out because there were people that had paid for the event and did not get a chance to participate, were denied.
Oh, wow.
Those people I feel really, really bad for. They still received their certificates. They were still there. As far as I'm concerned, they should be counted. And they have their experience as well. It may not be as good as some of the others, but it's a memory that was made on Route 66. So I'm trying to see the positive. Can't change it.
No.
Yeah. Well, thanks for giving us the update on it.
Yeah. And they broke the record, which is cool.
Yes, the record was broken. Now, I think that there's enough people that were upset at the organization and how all this went down. It wouldn't surprise me if there's another attempt to do this in the very near future, to say we can do better, and here it is.
Yeah.
You had 5,000 people registered to do it, and the record's at like 3,600 because of how many people got kind of pushed away.
Yeah.
Well, they might not want to do it next time.
Right.
Like, oh, last time it was a mess. 4 hours in traffic.
Okay. But then you got 5,000 people that were interested this time. Good or bad publicity, it's publicity.
Let's put this in.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if the next go around would say, okay, we can beat that, just as an FU to the future or to the past of record.
Right.
I like that. FU to the future.
Sorry,
I've been saying that for the past 30, 40 years. Like, that was right. I shouldn't say it. If I wasn't right, I wouldn't be here. So I gotta.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant.
I know.
It's getting late. It's been long days. Traveling in a Model A cross country is not easy, and this was only up to Tulsa and back.
I'm hoping to be in Tulsa in January for the Chili Bowl.
Well, then hang around until mid-February and stick around for the Starbird show.
Well, I'm not so sure that's possible, but the whole work thing sort of screws it up for me.
Yeah.
Well, you make that a work trip and you just have your booth at the Starbird show.
Well, maybe. When is that? And what is that?
Daryl Starbird's Rod and Custom show. I guess it's been running for 50 years, 60 years now.
Okay.
Cliff and Christy, their kids, took it over. And it's one of the most badass shows in America. People come from all over. I'm surprised you don't know of this one.
No. Me too, at this point.
I want to say you had some dealings, and please correct me if I'm wrong, with Andy at Damascus Motors, Andy Cohen.
Yep.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah, I did that show. I did a few episodes of that show.
Yes.
Yeah, Junkyard Empire.
I didn't want to endorse that.
Well, the stuff that I did was all out here on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
In my buddy, another Dave, in his shop, and Dave and Andy were friends. So on the show, I'm trying to remember now if they even mentioned that, this little other project that was, a part of a few of the episodes, if they even mentioned that the shop that was happening at was out here in California. But yeah, so I've never met Andy in person.
Okay.
Yeah. But I, did, like I said, did a couple episodes, which was fun. I got to sort of see how the TV thing kind of works. And, it's funny how it's not scripted, like we didn't have to memorize lines or anything, but it's definitely, you miss a lot of what really happened. It's all dressed up, to put together a particular storyline. We'll just say that.
Right.
Yes.
But it was a fun experience. I mean, and one that not many people get. So it was cool to be able to do it.
So it was one of your hideaway headlight kits into a late 60s, early 70s Chevy Blazer or GMC Jimmy or something like that. I did for Andy. In Andy's shop in Damascus Motors.
Yeah. Is he not a good guy? Like I said, I've never met him. I've never spoke to him.
Andy's okay. We just said, Andy's Andy. His personality on TV is very much what his personality is in real life. He's Andy.
Yeah.
He's all about the money. I mean, I don't know how the man does it, but a nickel becomes $5. And that's, every minute.
It's because he doesn't have a race car. Because I can turn $5 into a nickel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I've gotten quite good at it, to be honest with you. I don't mean to brag or anything, but I'm pretty good at it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the business guys, that's the bottom line. It's business. It's about making a profit. I know guys like that, and that's just how they're programmed. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe I'm just a bad business person. I'm not programmed that way.
I give it away. I give away more than I charge for. So I'm a bad example too.
Yeah, I mean, I got to make money. I got to keep a roof over the head, and all that. But
yeah,
I'd rather see people.
I'm gonna go to sleep, fellas. We'll talk to you next week.
All right,
see you, buddy.
Talk to you later.
All right, have a good week.
Paul.
So I do have to tell you, Dave, I still get comments on the throttle spring return that I got from you guys on my car, and I find myself holding like science class, explaining spring constants and compression and tension, and sometimes you see the lights go off where guys will get it and like, wow, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, doesn't it? It's like, this is like a no-brainer. But
I appreciate that.
But the car companies had it wrong for so many years, just doing it the way that was easy and cheap.
Yeah.
And instead of doing it the way that's correct and safe. And it just always amazes me that, it's always a great conversation piece when people, different guys always pick up on different things. Most guys pick up on nothing. It's just like, I always say, you know what? The guy who paints the car, he gets all the credit because they just look at paint. But like I say, if you look at the details, look at everything that's been changed, look at what a guy does. And that's where you really get the conversations, because you really get the intricacies of building. And every once in a while, a guy will pick that out and ask me, and then it's game on. So,
well, I had a older guy, look at mine, and he's like, "Man, that's on wrong." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Something ain't right." He's looking at it. He goes, "Something ain't right." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I was like, "This is the new improved." And then I had to explain to him how it worked, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But he looked at it, he goes, "That's one wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on upside down. It's backwards.
Yeah. So that's the nicest thing on my car, because I haven't done anything to the caddy yet.
Oh, Well, I'm glad you guys are both happy. It's what a weird ride this whole thing has been. I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy how things work out sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Really
Yeah.
is.
But it's been cool.
Yeah.
It's been very, very cool and blessed that I get to do this sort of thing for a living, and
Exactly.
It's just wild.
Speaking of crazy and cool, what's up with you, Brian?
Not much. Just trying to duck and weave and
Living
stay
the dream.
out of trouble. Keep moving. Just
I hear you.
don't stand still long enough because they may throw dirt on me.
So they can catch you, right? I gotcha.
Yeah, between everything going on around here, it's kind of crazy. But
we're talking about the West Coast, East Coast, and Ohio. Brian's right outside of Washington. Let's talk about the other hotbed. It's like, man, we got the country covered on this show. We really do.
Yeah, we do. Papa Squirrel's in California too.
What's that, Louis?
Papa Squirrel's in California too.
Another one in California. Yeah, well, he's up in the high country, so that's a little safer.
I'm up in the mountain area.
Yeah,
you're
redwoods. Yeah.
Yeah, we're hitting every corner of the states.
Yeah.
What part of the mountains do you live in?
Actually, I live in Fort Bragg, California, which
that's gorgeous. Yeah, you're up a few hours north of me. We're in Brentwood, the Northern California Brentwood, not the O.J. Simpson Brentwood.
Yeah.
You have to differentiate that. The Southern California Brentwood, that's the rich people.
Yeah.
Which, good on them. I'd like to be one someday, but we live in our Brentwood is like agricultural area.
You live among real people.
Yeah, well, certainly more regular people, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I've always felt agricultural was more real.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's good. I enjoy living here. It's cool. I mean, it's grown a lot, but it's still not. I grew up in San Jose, and San Jose is humongous, and I mean, it's paved, just a concrete jungle. So out here it's cool. My kid, we still have dirt here, which is kind of nice.
That's good.
Yeah, there's tractors driving down the street from time to time, which is kind of cool.
Okay, we're at the hour and a half mark, so we're going to start the after show right after I log off here. So if we could hold on a second.
All right.
I'll put Brian up.
Yeah.
Poster child.
Yeah, right. Okay, everybody. Thanks for coming to see us here. We'd like to thank Dave for coming from Hot Rod Innovations. He's really one of our favorite guests, and he's always welcome. He's family. So go check out his website and buy a whole bunch of stuff off him so he can come back and buy me and my wife dinner again.
I appreciate all of you more than you guys know it. This has been really, really fun. I love the story stuff. It's awesome. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Louis, for having me back on. I really do appreciate it. And I hope I will definitely talk to you all very soon.
Okay, you don't have to get off. We're doing the after party in a minute.
All right.
All right, people. Check us out every Thursday night at 9:00 Eastern, and tell all your people to check us out. All right, have a good night.